Electricity Act 2003 for Kerala PSC exam, departmental exam, in-service exams, PSC exams, UPSC exams, UGC NET exam, degree PG level exams and various other exams. Section 118. Section 118 provides that in the event of occurrence of any vacancy in the office of the chairperson, or if the chairperson is unable to discharge the functions owing to absence, illness, or any other cause, the senior-most member of the appellate tribunal shall act as chairperson. Section 119. Section 119 provides that central government shall provide such officers and other employers as it may deem fit, and their salaries and allowances and other conditions of service shall be prescribed. Section 120. Section 120 provides for the procedure and powers of the appellate tribunal. The appellate tribunal shall have power to regulate its own procedure. Further, the appellate tribunal shall have power of civil court in the matter, inter alia, of summoning and enforcing the attendance, discovery or production of documents, receiving evidence on affidavits, etc. It also provides that all proceedings before the appellate tribunal shall be deemed to be judicial proceeding within the meaning of section 193 and 288 of Indian Penal Code. Section 121. Section 121 provides and empowers the chairperson of the appellate tribunal to exercise general power of superintendence and control over the appropriate commission. Section 122. Section 122 provides that the chairperson of the appellate tribunal may, by notification, make provisions for the distribution of business of appellate tribunal among the benches. It further empowers the chairperson of the appellate tribunal to transfer any case pending before one bench for disposal to any other bench. Section 123. Section 123 provides that the decision of the appellate tribunal shall be by the majority of members. Section 124. Section 124 provides that a person preferring an appeal before the appellate tribunal may either appear in person or take the assistance of legal practitioner to present his case. Section 125. Section 125 provides that any person aggrieved by any decision or order of the appellate tribunal may file an appeal to the Supreme Court. Section 126. Section 126 provides that if an assessing officer on an inspection come to the conclusion that a person is indulging in unauthorized use of electricity, he shall provisionally assess the electricity charges payable by such a person. The order of provisional assessment shall be served upon the person concerned, who shall be entitled to file any objection before the assessing officer, who may, after affording a reasonable opportunity of hearing to such person, pass a final order of assessment of the electricity charges payable by such person. It further provides inter alia that any person served with the order of provisional assessment may accept such assessment and deposit the assessed amount with the licensee within 7 days of service of such order. Section 127. Section 127 provides for an appeal by any person aggrieved by a final order of the assessing officer to the adjudicating officer within a period of 30 days of the order. It also provides that no appeal shall be entertained unless an amount equal to 1/3 of the assessed amount is deposited with the licensee. The order of the adjudicating officer shall be final. Section 128. Section 128 provides that the appropriate commission, on being satisfied that a licensee has failed to comply with any of the conditions of license, or a generating company or a licensee has failed to comply with any of the provisions of the proposed legislation or rules or regulations made thereunder, may direct any person referred as investigating authority to investigate the affairs of any licensee and report to that commission. The investigating authority may cause an inspection of books of account, examine on oath any manager, managing director, or the other officer of the licensee. If further provides inter alia that on receipt of report the appropriate commission may, after giving such opportunity to the licensee to make a representation as it considers reasonable, require the licensee to take such action as it thinks fit. It also provides that licensee shall defray all expenses and incidental to investigation. Section 129. Section 129 provides that if a licensee contravenes or is likely to contravene any condition stated in the license, or any generating company or the licensee has contravened or is likely to contravene any of the provisions of the proposed legislation, the appropriate commission shall give orders for securing compliance with such condition or provisions. It also provides for the making of a final order or confirming the provisional order in this regard, subject to the conditions mentioned in that section. Section 130. Section 130 provides that the appropriate commission before issue of any directions under Section 129 shall serve notice in the manner as may be specified to the concerned licensee, publish the notice in the manner as may be specified for the purpose of bringing the matters to the attention of persons likely to be affected or consider suggestions and objections from the concerned licensee and the persons likely to be affected or affected. I repeat, Section 130. Section 130 provides that the appropriate commission before issue of any direction under Section 129 shall serve notice in the manner as may be specified to the concerned licensee, publish the notice in the manner as may be specified for the purpose of bringing the matters to the attention of persons likely to be affected or affected, consider suggestions and objections from the concerned licensee and the person likely to be affected or affected. Section 131. Section 132 provides, Section 132 provides that in the event that the board or any utility owned or controlled by the appropriate government is sold or transferred in any manner to a person who is not owned or controlled by the appropriate government, the proceeds thereof shall be utilized in the following order, namely, A. Dues including retirement benefits due to the officers and employees who have been affected by the aforesaid sale or transfer, and B. Payment of debt or other liabilities of the transferor company as required by the existing loan covenants. Section 133. Section 133. Section 133 provides for the transfer of the officers and other employees of the State Electricity Board consequent upon reorganization of the board. The section further provides the terms and conditions of the service of personnel of the board upon transfer under the transfer scheme shall not in any way be less favorable than those which would have been applicable to them if there had been no such transfer. Section 134. Section 134 provides that notwithstanding anything contained in the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 or any other law of the time being in force, and except for the provisions made under the proposed legislation, the transfer of the employment of the officers and other employees referred to in subsection 1, section 133 shall not entitle such officers and other employees to any compensation or damages under the proposed legislation or any other central or state law, save as provided in the transfer scheme. Section 135. Section 135 deals with theft or electricity. Section 135. Section 135 deals with theft or electricity. It provides that whoever dishonestly indulges in theft of power by adopting the means as specified in that section shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years of fine or with both. This section also provides that for theft of electricity involving load abstraction not exceeding 10 kilowatt, the fine imposed on first conviction shall not be less than 3 times the financial gain on account of such theft, and in the event of second or subsequent conviction, the fine imposed shall not be less than 6 times the financial gain on account of such theft. Similarly, for theft of electricity involving load abstraction or consumption exceeding 10 kilowatt, the fine imposed on first conviction shall not be less than 3 times the financial gain on account of such theft, and in the event of second or subsequent conviction, the sentence shall be imprisonment for a term not less than 6 months and with a fine not to be less than 6 times the financial gain on account of such theft. This section further provides inter alia that without prejudice to the provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 relating to search and seizure, any person authorized by appropriate government may enter any premises, inspect and search vehicle or other place and may use such minimum force as may be necessary, seize any means used for theft of electricity, require the owner, occupier to produce any books of accounts, etc. Section 136. Section 136 deals with the theft or electric lines and material. Section 136 deals with the theft of electric lines and material. It provides that whoever dishonestly indulge in theft of electric lines and materials by adopting means as mentioned in the section shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years of fine or with both. It also provides that a person shall be punishable for the second or subsequent offence for a term of imprisonment which shall not be less than 6 months but which may extend to 5 years and shall be liable to fine which shall not be less than 10,000 rupees. Section 137. Section 137 provides that whoever dishonestly receives any stolen electric lines or material, knowing or having reasons to believe the same to be stolen property, shall be punishable with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years or with fine or with both. Section 138. Section 138 deals with punishment for interference with meters or works of licensing. It provides that whoever unauthorizedly connects or reconnects or injures any meter, indicator or apparatus with any electrical lines or improperly use electricity shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine which may extend to 10,000 rupees or with both, and in the case of a continuing offence with a daily fine which may extend to 5,000 rupees. Section 139. Section 139 provides that a person negligently wasting electricity or injuring work shall be punishable with fine which may extend to 10,000 rupees. Section 140. Section 140 provides that a person maliciously wasting electricity or injuring works shall be punishable with an imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years or with fine which may extend to 10,000 rupees or with both. Section 141. Section 141 provides that whoever maliciously extinguishes any public lamp shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 2000 rupees, or with both. Section 142. Section 142 deals with punishment for non-compliance of direction given by the appropriate commission. It provides that in case any complaint is filed before the appropriate commission by any person, or that commission is satisfied that any person has contravened any direction issued by the commission under the proposed legislation, the commission, after giving such a person an opportunity of being heard, by order in writing, direct that such a person shall pay by way of penalty which shall not exceed rupees 1 lakh for each contravention, and in case of a continuing failure, with an additional penalty which may extend to rupees 6,000 for every day during which the failure continues. One second. Section 143. Section 143 provides that for the purpose of adjudging the proposed legislation, the appropriate commission shall appoint any of its members to be an adjudicating officer for holding an inquiry in such manner as may be prescribed by appropriate government, after giving any person concerned a reasonable opportunity of being heard for the purpose of imposing any penalty. Section 144. Section 144 provides for the factors to be taken into account by adjudicating officer. It provides that while adjudicating the quantum of penalty, the adjudicating officer shall have due regard to the amount of disproportionate gain or unfair advantage and the repetitive nature of default. Section 145. Section 145 provides that no civil court shall have jurisdiction to entertain any suit or proceeding in respect of any matter which an assessing officer referred to in Section 126 and the adjudicating officer appointed under the proposed legislation is empowered to determine, and no injunction shall be granted by any court or authority in respect of any action taken in pursuance of any power under this Act. Section 146. Section 146 provides that if any person fails to comply with any order or direction under proposed legislation within such time as may be specified in the said order, or contravenes or attempts or abets the contravention of any of the provisions of the proposed legislation, or any rules or regulations made thereunder, shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupees, or with both in respect of each offence, and in the case of a continuing failure, with an additional fine which may extend to 5,000 rupees for every day during which such failure continues after conviction of first such offence. Section 147. Section 147 provides that the penalties imposed under the proposed legislation shall be in addition to, and not in derogation of, any liability in respect of payment of compensation, or in the case of licensee, the revocation of his license which the offender may have incurred. Section 148. Section 148 provides that the provisions of the proposed legislation shall, so far as they are applicable, be deemed to apply also when the acts made punishable thereunder are committed in the case of electricity supplied by or works belonging to the appropriate government. Section 149. Section 149 deals with punishment for offence committed by companies. It provides that where an offence under the proposed legislation has been committed by a company, every person who at the time when offence is committed was in charge of the company shall be deemed to be guilty of having committed the offence, and shall be liable to be proceeded against and punished accordingly. Section 150. Section 150 provides for the punishment for abetting offence punishable under the instant enactment. Section 151. Section 151 provides that no court shall take cognizance cognizance of an offence punishable under the proposed legislation, except upon a complaint in writing made by appropriate government or appropriate commission or a chief electrical inspector or an electrical inspector or licensee or the generating company as the case may be for this purpose. Section 152. Section 152 provides for compounding of offences. It provides that appropriate government or any officer authorized by it may accept from any consumer or person who committed or is reasonably suspected of having committed an offense of theft of electricity a sum of money by way of compounding of offense as specified in the table provided in this clause. Such compounding of offense shall be allowed only once for a consumer. Section 153. Section 153 provides that the Ministry of Power should consider the feasibility of making a provision in the Act for setting up special courts for trial of offences under Section 135 and 136 of the Act. Section 157. Section 157 provides that where any matter is by or under the proposed legislation directed to be determined by arbitration, the matter shall, unless it is otherwise expressly provided in the license of a licensee, be determined by such person or persons as the appropriate commission may nominate in that behalf on the application of either party, but in all other respects the arbitration shall be subject to the provision of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. Section 158. Section 158 provides that where any matter is by or under the proposed legislation directed to be determined by arbitration, the matter shall, unless it is otherwise expressly provided in the license of a licensee, be determined by such a person or persons as the appropriate commission may nominate in that behalf on the application of either party. But in all other respects, the arbitration shall be subject to the provision of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. Section 159. Section 159 provides that no person shall, in the generation, transmission, distribution, supply, or use of electricity, in any way injure any railway, highway, aerodrome, tramway, canal, or waterway, or any dock, wharf, or pier invested in or controlled by a local authority, or obstruct or interfere with the traffic on any railway, airway, tramway, canal, or waterway. Section 160. Section 160 provides that every person generating, transmitting, distributing, supplying, or using electricity, hereinafter referred to as an operator, shall take all reasonable precautions in constructing, laying down, and placing the electricity lines or electrical plant, etc., so as not injuriously to affect the working of any wire or line used for the purpose of telegraphic, telephone, or electric signaling communication. Section 161. Section 161 provides for the giving of notice of accidents occurring in connection with the generation, transmission, supply, or use of electricity in or in connection with any part of the electric lines or electrical plant to the electrical inspector or such other person as aforesaid, and such other authorized as the appropriate government may by general or special order direct. The appropriate government may, if it thinks fit, require any electrical inspector or any other person appointed by it in this behalf to enquire and report as to the cause of any such accidents or as to the manner and extent to which the provisions of the proposed legislation relating to safety have been complied with. This section also provided that every electrical inspector or other person holding an inquiry under this section shall have all powers of civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure 19 not 0 not 19 not 08 sorry 1908 for the purpose of enforcing the attendance of witnesses and compelling the production of documents and material objects. Section 162. Section 162 deals with appointment of chief electrical inspector and the electrical inspectors who shall exercise the powers and perform functions within such areas or in respect of such class of works and electric installations and subject to such restrictions as the appropriate government may direct. Section 163. Section 163 Section 163 empowers a licensee to enter any premises to which electricity is or has been supplied by him to inspect, test, repair or alter the electric supply lines, meters, etc. to ascertain the amount of electricity supply or to remove where a supply of electricity is no longer required or where the licensee is authorized to take away and cut off such supply in electric supply lines, meters, etc. belonging to the licensee. This section also provides that the licensee or any authorized person in pursuance of a special order in this behalf made by an executive magistrate and after giving not less than 24 hours notice in writing to the occupiers enter any premises or land for purpose mentioned above. Section 164. Section 164 provides for the placing of electric lines or electric plant for the transmission of electricity or for the purpose of telegraphic communications and confer upon any public officer, licensee or other person engaged in the business of supplying of electricity under the proposed legislation any of the powers of the telegraph authority. Section 165. Section 165 provides for the term work used in Section 40 and 41 of the Land Acquisition Act 1894 shall be deemed to include electricity supplied or to be supplied by means of the work to be constructed. Section 166. Section 166 provides for construction of a coordination forum and a forum of regulators by the central government for smooth and coordinated development of the power system in the country. The coordination forum shall consist of the chairperson of the Central Commission, chairperson of the authority, representatives of the central generating and transmission companies, while the forum regulators shall consist of the chairperson of the Central Commission and chairperson of the State Commission. This section also provides for constitution of a coordination forum by the state government consisting of the chairperson of the State Commission, representatives of the generating, transmission and distribution companies. It also provides for constitution of a committee in each district by the appropriate government to coordinate and review the extension of electrification in each district, to review the quality of power supply and consumer satisfaction, and to promote energy efficiency and conservation. Section 164. Section 164 provides that where any electric lines or electrical plant belonging to a licensee are placed in or upon any premises or land not being in the possession of the licensee, such electric lines or electrical plant shall not be liable to be taken in execution under any process of any civil court or in any proceedings in insolvency against the person in whose possession the same may be. Section 168. Section 168 provides for Section 168 provides for protection of action taken in good faith by the appropriate government and its officers or the appellate tribunal or the appropriate commission or any member, officers and other employee of the appropriate commission or the assessing officer or any public servant. Section 169. Section 169 provides that the chairperson, members, officers and other employees of the appellate tribunal and the chairperson, members, secretary, officers and other employees of the appropriate commission, and the assessing officer referred to in section 126 shall be deemed to be public servants within the meaning of section 21 of the Indian Penal Code. Section 170. Section 170 provides that any amount payable by a person under the proposed legislation, if not paid, may be recovered as if it were an arrear of land revenue. Section 171. Section 171 provides for the procedure of service of notice, orders, or documents under the proposed legislation. Section 172. Section 172 deals with the transitional provisions consequent on reorganization. Reorganization of the State Electricity Board. It provides that a state electricity board shall be deemed to be the state transmission utility and a licensee under the proposed legislation for a period of 1 year from the appointed date or such earlier date as the state government may be notified. It also provides that the state government may by notification authorize the board to continue the function as the state transmission utility and a licensee for such further period beyond the set period of 1 year as may be stipulated in the notification. This section also provides that all licenses, authorizations, approvals, clearance, and permissions granted under the provisions of the repealed laws may for a period not exceeding 1 year from the appointed date or such earlier period as may be notified by the appropriate government continue to operate as if the repealed laws were in force, and such licenses, authorization, etc. shall be deemed to be licenses, authorizations, approvals, clearances, and permissions under the proposed legislation. The undertaking of the State Electricity Board shall, after the expiry of the period specified above, shall be transferred to and vested in the company or companies in accordance with the provisions of Part 13 of the Act X 111 of the Act. This section further provides that state government may be notification. The undertaking of the State Electricity Board shall, after the expiry of the period specified above, shall be transferred to and vested in the company or companies in accordance with the provisions of Part 13 of the Act. This section further provides that state government may be notification declare that any or all the provisions contained in the Act shall not apply in that state or such period not exceeding 6 months from the appointed date as may be stipulated in that notification. Thank you.